Are there RSO success stories with prostate cancer? And the answer is yes. I've seen several reported success stories over the years over here at MOVIDA. So in this video, I'm going to go over what worked in the past, what's working now in today's world, and a recent success story. If we're meeting for the first time, my name is Morentin. I'm the founder of MOVIDA, and my deal is I went blind from glaucoma and I got my vision back with cannabis oils. And today I help people all over the United States to overcome and manage a variety of conditions, mainly cancer and its related symptoms. So RSO dosing for prostate cancer. What worked in the past was what they call the RSO protocol, where you do 60 grams of the RSO in 90 days. And that was getting people a lot of success, like in the early 2000s. And sometimes it took a little bit more, like 120 days or 6 months, but there was a decent amount of success. But what I'm seeing now in today's world is people work up to that gram a day and they feel better, but they're not getting to the goal. They're not getting to the no evidence of disease or clear scans, etc. So they're basically living with the cancer and they're not getting to that no evidence of disease. So they're basically on the verge of going backwards, which you do not want to do. So why isn't it working now when it worked in the past? One of the reasons is because as it became more popular, there's a bunch of scam artists out there and they're selling basically bogus oil that does not work. So you have to make sure that you have the correct source. But even people that have good oil, they're having trouble getting success. There are some outliers that they react well to the oil and they just have success, but there's not as many. And the reason for that is that the world is more toxic now. There's more of a toxic burden on our immune system. So the old school protocol, it just doesn't work anymore. So what is working now over here at MOVIDA? So we'd still do the typical thing where we work up to a gram a day orally, but we also do suppositories on top of that. As we work up to the gram a day, we have people do a 250 milligram suppository, especially for prostate cancer, because that gets it right close to the area. So it hits it right away. And then when they get to a gram a day, then they move up to a 500 milligram suppository. So from a 250 milligram suppository as they were working up to a gram a day to a 500 milligram suppository when they get to a gram a day. So at that point, they're basically doing 1,500 milligrams, which is 1.5 grams per day. So it's 50% more than what was typically done in the past. And that is what's having success. That's what I call the RSO protocol for the 21st century, because it is a more toxic world. So let me give you an example of this playing out in the real world just within this past month. So there's a gentleman named Paul. He came to us almost a year ago, probably about 10, 11 months ago. And he had a high PSA, which is the test that they do for prostate cancer. Anything above a 4 has concerns, and his was a 12 or 13, something like that. And so there was a great concern for that. He reached out to MOVIDA, myself, and we put him on the traditional Rick Simpson protocol where you work up to a gram a day orally. So he did that and continued on doing the gram a day. He did it past the 90 days, did about all in all total working up to the gram a day and doing the gram a day. He did that for about 5 months, and then he did another test. And at that test, when he got the results back, the previous test was like a 12 or 13. The next test was like a 22. So it shot up. So basically, if you look at it on paper, it actually got worse. And he was doing the gram a day, and we have good oil. I depend on it for my own eyesight, and we have thousands of clients. So why isn't it working? And so I explained to him what I just explained to you about doing the suppositories and the more toxic world, etc. So he immediately tried that. He went to the 500 milligram suppositories, and his oncologist was concerned. So she had him do another test just 60 days later. And at that test, his results came back and they were awesome. It came back at a 0.3. So remember that his previous test 60 days prior was 22 or so. And above a 4 is concerning. So 0.3 is super awesome. And that's an example of doing the gram a day orally and then doing the suppository on top of that, what I call the RSO protocol for the 21st century, having success. So hopefully that helps you out. And if you have any questions about RSO, how to take it or where to get it, just reach out and we'll get you situated with that. And my name is Morentin. If you enjoy this type of content, then subscribe to our channel, and thank you for watching. I hope you have a beautiful day. Peace.